BowmanDigitalMedia.com. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another wonderful Thursday afternoon in sunny California. It's a little later in the day for my guest today, Curtis Tompkins, my brother from another mother. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm well. How are you?
Are you making me feel like I'm underdressed here? I'm going to at least take the hat off. You got a tie on, brother. I'm in shorts and a polo shirt. But it's like 9,000 degrees out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, sun isn't even down yet. But you're doing good?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. You're looking good. You got like lighting and everything all. You're getting fancy, man.
I'm just trying to learn from the best. That's all.
Awesome. All right. Let me set this up for everybody. Jocasta, I got you. You're going to we're going to do a profile review. Bro, we do two things on the show. For those of you you've never seen this show before, what is this Job Seeker Spotlight? What is it all about? Well, I do a couple things. This is every Thursday. Still been playing with the time, although I think I've pretty much decided that this is the time. It's 4 p.m. Pacific. It's 7 p.m. Eastern. It works for just about everywhere. I know it's a little late in Europe, but and it's super early in India. However, most of the people that I deal with are on my time schedule anyways. So I think this is a good time for most people to kind of like make it work. But what do we do here? This is all about raising visibility for the job seeker so that they can find a job faster. You know all about Project Help You Grow, Curtis, because you've been involved with me for a very long time. But for those of you who don't know what Project Help You Grow is, let me just set the stage. Project Help You Grow is my philanthropy. It's a website. It's a group. It's a movement. It's all of those things. But really, the bottom line is we connect job seekers to recruiters, employers who have jobs so that they can all win together, right? It's win-win. Project Help You Grow doesn't make a penny, doesn't charge a penny for any of it. It's all free help. I'm like a bridge just trying to help people connect. The purpose of this show is a little bit different. This is not quote-unquote Project Help You Grow show. This is the Ira Bowman show. So what I'm trying to do is help those of you who are struggling to get past the ATS, something that my guest here knows a little bit about. We try to help you with some suggestions, not just on your LinkedIn profile, which is important, but also on your resume. I spent a lot of time the last episode going over the rules of the ATS. And actually what made me think to even invite you today, Curtis, was I saw that post from Kelly. You were just on her show not too long ago. And so anyways, I'm like, you know what? I need to bring my man Curtis on. You literally wrote a book about how people can get through the ATS by setting up the resume correctly. And you don't even need to be rich to afford it. You can have the hard copy for $6. You can have the electronic copy for just under $4. So you guys can get that. We'll put that link up in a minute. But what are we doing on the show? We're doing two things. We're doing LinkedIn profile reviews because a lot of people are bashful. But the other thing I've offered to do, and I don't think I've had anybody actually take me up on it. So I'm going to say, in theory, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm also trying to get people to actually just come on the show so that I can help raise their visibility live. But I think people are a little bit nervous. They don't have the lighting set up. They know that I do this all the time. They're afraid of me. I don't know why. I'm a nice guy. I've never beaten anybody up. Come on, right? That's my job. So the reason why Curtis is here is I know sometimes it's good to hear it from another voice. And you truly are an industry expert with the resume. It's not all you do, but you are a resume expert. So I thought, let's talk about in detail today resumes. We could basically like kind of deep dive into the book and some of the advice that you give. And then people can buy your book as a reference guide. And also, if they're feeling overwhelmed and they just want somebody to do it for them, well, I know a guy who could get that done at jobreadytoday.com. I wonder, do I have that? I might actually have that. Hang on. Oh my gosh, look at this, bro.
Awesome.
I just have that ready to go. I didn't even think about you were coming on the show, but I have that from another time you were on the show. So there it is, right? Resume and cover letter services from a man. Well, he's over there. I got to point the opposite way. I'm looking up. But anyway, so that's great. So that's what we're going to do. So let's do this, Curtis, because I know people are going to come in and they're going to go out, So like every 10 minutes or so, I just want to like do a reset like we do in Clubhouse and reset the room. But I want to reset Job Ready Today just so that people like, you know what I mean? So let's do like the 30-second. This is Job Ready Today. This is what Job Ready Today does. I mean, obviously I got it in the ticker, but you're the owner of Job Ready Today. Just give us a little spiel about it so they know who you are.
Okay. Well, Job Ready Today is a career services firm located in Charlotte, North Carolina. The basic thing is to help you to land your next career opportunity. Like you said, resumes is not the only thing that we do. Cover letters, interview preparation, career coaching, career training, all of that good stuff. And you guys hear a lot on, hey, Mariella, you guys hear a lot on LinkedIn about the resume, but we dive deep into other areas as well as needed by the client. So
including training, like if you need career training, if you need, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. So definitely look, it's scrolling at the bottom of the screen right now. Go to jobreadytoday.com. The only trick in there for those of you is the A in the word day is actually changed to an E. So it's DEY.com. That's the only trick. But anyways, all right. So we'll bring that up every 10 minutes or so. At least that's the plan. I'll probably forget, but anyways, we'll do it. I want to get you some business if I can, brother. All right. So Jocasta is joining us right now. She is from Dubai, and we're going to do one of what will probably turn out to be many LinkedIn profile reviews. So we're just going to pull up her screen. And what's the first thing you notice, Curtis? I say it every week, but let's see if you agree.
The background photo.
Come on, baby. You've been listening to me a long time. You guys have to have a background cover photo. It is so important because the average time, for those of you who don't know, and I actually learned this a long time ago from my buddy Jared Weiss, cover photo is important because the average profile view is just 6.5 seconds. Yeah. So, human beings were visual by nature. If you pull that up, you can learn a lot about somebody right away. In fact, I'm going to do something while I'm talking. So on LinkedIn, if you don't get their attention in the first, 6.5 seconds, you might not ever get another shot is really the issue. So you want to set that background photo so that it is just crystal clear what it is that you do. Do you just see this handsome fella right here? And I'm jealous of his voice too, by the way. Every time Curtis talks, I'm like, this is so sexy. You're sexy, man, brother. All right. But look at this right here. Become job ready, not tomorrow, but today. And then here's his address and it's teamwork. You know what I mean? It's like it's not a commercial, but it sets the tone like, hey, this is what we do. And then he's got a just perfect headline is what LinkedIn calls it, right? So the first thing that I'm saying, and the first thing that Curtis is saying to you, Joe Costa, is we need to get something here. Now, good news. You don't have to spend a single penny to do this. You can go, like, I don't know if you know this, Curtis. Because I do photography work, I actually contribute to this website called Pexels. It's
Okay.
Pexels.
You on there? Wow.
Yeah, I contribute. So my photos are on there. I actually just had two of my photos just got they call them spotlighted. So like, when you're scrolling through the homepage, they were on there because I was in my Las Vegas trip and I put a picture up of the New York, and a picture up of the Excalibur. And they picked both of those up, and so they featured them on their homepage. Anyways, Pexels is free. So Joe Costa, you could go get a free picture on Pexels, and then you could take it over to Canva, which is just canva.com, and you can edit it just like what Curtis has here, right? You want to put this little box with some writing in it. You could look at mine if you want another example. I mean, there's all kinds of them that you can look at. But usually, just as a general rule of thumb, like, so you're crew baggage handling supervisor. So you're working for an airline, doing oh my goodness, my brain just went logistics, right? You're doing logistics type work. So put on here like airline logistics, and you might actually want to consider even putting on open to work, which is a frame that you can set up. Or if you don't want to do that, you could put it here, looking to join a new team, something like that, right? But I would definitely get in there, airline, because that'll set the stage. Like, okay, she's working in an airport, right? It just sets the total mood. You've got crew baggage handling supervisor, acting shift team leader. Let me tell you what I don't like about this. And Curtis, you can interject anytime here on these. The thing I like about this is it tells me what you were doing. The thing I don't like about this is I don't know if people are going to search for that, right? Do you know what I mean? Like, if they don't know you, Jocasta, but they're looking for somebody who does what you do, you want to use in the headline, you want to use words that they're going to search for, expressions that they're going to search for. So like, you can do the same thing, and you should do the same thing with the resume. Look at the job listings that you are applying for, the positions you're applying for, and what are the keywords and the titles that they are using, you're seeing over and over again. That's the kind of stuff that you want to put in the headline, because they don't know you, so they're not going to find you by searching your name. They're going to find you by searching for what you do. And the other part of that, which almost everybody gets wrong on LinkedIn, they fill out the skills down here, skills and endorsements, with generic stuff. Like, I hate to say it, but you're not going for a traditional customer service position, right? You're not trying to answer the phone. So this is not the most important thing for you to have here. You get to put up to 50 of them, and it doesn't look like you're using them all. So you could actually add more. And you do have some good ones down here, by the way. I saw it. Baggage handling systems. Like, that's good. I want more of that stuff, because if that's the type of work that you're doing, like, you definitely want to have logistics in here. You want to have airport. Those like 50 keywords, just think of them as keywords on your resume. They should be right here. And then get your friends to like actually hit them, because every one of these that you hit, LinkedIn will actually boost you in the algorithm. I hate to say the algorithm because nobody understands what that really means. Let me lay it down for you a different way, like SEO. If they put in baggage handler, and there's 5,000 people with baggage handler experience on LinkedIn, where are they going to put you in the list? Are they going to put you at the top of the list, in the middle of the list, or at the bottom of the list? Well, it's going to depend a little bit. But if everything else is equal, and you have baggage handling systems here with no endorsements, and somebody else has 150 endorsements, they're going to go on top of you. See what I mean? So the way this thing gets scored out, there's actually all kinds of variables that you can adjust the score with. But you've got it right here, baggage handling. So you've got it in your headline. That is, unless you're going to put it in your name, the best thing that you can do. and then you've got your titles, not the descriptions, not down here, but the titles themselves. And then you've got, well, you could do education, but no one really does. But you do have license and certifications. Those certainly will help you. Then you can have your skills and endorsements. And then the other thing is, and you don't have any, is your recommendations or referrals, if you will. But LinkedIn calls them recommendations. So those are some things to work on. Get recommendations, clean these up with more industry specific. Like you don't need to have, I mean, teamwork actually is not horrible. These are all really good. These ones where you've got other skills, these are perfect. I basically want more of that stuff. The team stuff actually is not bad because that could be a deal for you. I would say take off Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Office because nobody's searching for that. We just assume, I mean, frankly, I just assume everybody has that skill at this point, right? Let me know again, Curtis, if you want to interject anything there.
Yeah, I got something. Once you're finished, I got something to help that can help.
So, but again, and these you want to get these pings. People always ask me, Ira, how do I get people to give me industry knowledge, skill, and endorsements? You know how? You give them to other people. Now, I'm not saying just give them to everybody, haphazardly, but you're connected to people that you've worked with. Endorse them, and the natural human response is that they will endorse you back. So again, I'm not saying you connected to a stranger, just blindly endorse them. I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying if you know somebody and they're good at this or that, go ahead and give them their due. And it's give to get on social media. You give and they'll give you back. I call it win-win networking. You call it whatever you want, but that's how it really works. Same thing with referrals and recommendations, by the way. If you've worked with coworkers that do a really good job, write them a recommendation on LinkedIn. And over 50% of the people I've ever done that for have written me one back without me even asking. It's just been like, boom, I'll do it. In fact, Curtis, you and I both have recommended each other on LinkedIn. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't remember who did who first, but we both, the fact is, it doesn't really matter. We both have referred each other because we've worked together long enough that, we know each other. So you said you had something I'm going to go ahead and let you do that. And then I'm going to pop off of her.
Okay, I'm going to send this to you in the chat. I don't know if you can forward it to her. I don't know how she sent the information to you. Yeah. But this is one website that I just sent to you that can help job seekers. Now, you talked to her about the bottom part.
Yeah. Okay, hang on. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the comments, everybody. So I'm going to give you credit for it, Curtis. Curtis recommends. Okay, now you can go ahead and talk about it. I'm going to pull it up.
Okay, so that link right there is specifically for her when it comes down to the baggage handler skills. But that website, she'll be able to see.
Oh yeah,
all the things.
You showed me this before. I like this stuff.
Right. Yeah, she's that would definitely help at the bottom. You told her.
This surprises me because it says customer service is the number one thing. So she might actually be ahead of me on this. Huh, that's interesting. See, I can learn too, guys. Isn't that awesome? That's why we bring other people on. Ooh, I like that communication. That's another one I wouldn't have had so high. This one doesn't surprise me at all. Bag room, yeah. But this is what's great about this. This is giving you the terms that you want. So, and then you can hit show more.
Right. And I love this site because it's really detailed, not only for her baggage handler. So here's what the job seekers can do. Whatever their field, so just say they have a computer technician, baggage handler, whatever. They can go.
It's got it right here.
Right.
Breakout. This is nice.
Yep. And they'll be able to.
It's called Zippia.com.
Yes. And they can put it right at the bottom. They can put those skills at the bottom, and they'll be good to go. Yeah, that I think that'd be a good resource. That's all I had.
No, that's real good. Okay, so if you like what we just did for Jocasta and you want us to do that for you, all you have to do is give me permission. I am not going to do that unless you say, hey, I'd like you to do that for me. It doesn't cost anything. This is just free advice. We're here to help you guys. If you're interested in joining us on camera, we actually will bring you on camera too. And let me tell you the advantage of that. this has been the advice, Curtis, is that one of the things that you can do. Hi, Ashland. Ashland's our buddy, man. We talk to Ashland
Yes.
like every day on Facebook.
Every day.
Right?
That's right.
It's Facebook. I feel like I know her. I don't know her, but I feel like I do because she's our buddy. All right, and we got I want to say Nurul. I always mess these names up. I apologize, by the way, for butchering your names, but from India. Welcome. It's really late or
Yeah, I'm
early.
about to say welcome. Thank you for being here. Something like that. I think they're about 10 hours ahead of me, I think.
Yeah, 12 hours ahead of me. And then June is in Texas. So she June, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you grow your own lavender, right? She has a she has her own little
Nice.
side business, and I think she grows lavender and then does something with it. I don't remember exactly, but something like that. Mariella, after last time I changed my background photo, I think it shows what I do better. Let me know. Okay. Mariella, we'll be happy to look at you, my friend. Mariella is on my team. In full disclosure, for anybody who's curious, the reason why I love her so much is she's actually um, she's a business risk fraud expert, but she's also works with me at Bowman Digital Media. She helps me help my clients, so she's on the team. And so e-commerce risk, bookkeeping, fraud, chargeback protection, 100% better because now I don't have to understand it. I could just boom, no questions needed there. I will say this, dynamic results driven, I think this is a throwaway. I hate to say this because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but Mariella can take it. She's Greek. So Mariella, I don't think you need that at all. No one's going to search for dynamic results driven, right? So it's just a throwaway. If you start there with operations, I think it'll be much stronger. And I'm curious that you would put operations ahead of fraud. I would think that you would want fraud to be the number one word there, or maybe risk. What do you think, Curtis?
I'm looking, I'm trying to look at what she has here. Yeah, probably, maybe the fraud. Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I think so, right?
Yes, I'm looking at the risk. And to my knowledge, when they come down to the search terms, when I went with risk being a search factor, I believe they would more search for risk management. But I don't know if that fits within her wheelhouse or what she
Oh, it
does.
does. Yeah, 100% it does. So what she does
Okay.
is she's going on websites that are basically not set up secure. They're not secure and helping
Hmm.
close all the holes. Kind of think Ron Craig. Same idea.
Got you.
Yeah. Yeah. Same idea. So there you go, Mariella. There's a few more tidbits for you, but love what you did with the photo is phenomenal. And
Simply put, right?
look, this is real time. She's like, okay, deleting it. Like, look, I mean, the good thing about Ira is I have no filter. The bad thing about Ira is I have no filter. um, but you always know what I'm thinking, which is good. And look, I got that right. Yes, my lavender made from the garden and art portraits. That's correct. I knew that.
Awesome.
All right, and I always appreciate June. June's around a lot. I appreciate June very much. Okay, so Queen has asked for us to review her profile, and so we're gonna do her next. I just gotta come over and grab it. Well, oh my. Sometimes my live, I have 3 screens, so sometimes my live pauses. I don't know why it does that, but I'll tell you what. We're gonna bounce just off that for a second, and let me pull up Queen. I'll just do it the old-fashioned way. Queen.
While you're doing that, I'm just looking at your logo in the background and I'm appreciating that logo. I really am.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yes,
So I actually
sir.
I just got done doing a logo. In fact, before I pull Queen up, let me show you. I did a logo for Michelle Rawl. Michelle Rawl is
Yes, Michelle.
yes. So she was in a win-win networking show back when Mike O'Connor and I were still doing it together. And we came up with this moniker for her called Your Finance Gal. Anyway,
Oh,
she ran with that name, and so I'm in the process of building out her website, but I just got done making this logo for her. So hang on a second, I'm gonna pull it up and share my screen. So there it is. So your finance gal, I mean, this is from the female, the symbol for female. And then this is supposed to be a magnifying glass with YFG in it. And then actually, you know what? This is not the final version. Hang on a second. I made minor tweak. The final version is right there. It has her name in it. So, anyways, so there's now a new page on LinkedIn. You guys could go there right now if you want. It's called Your Finance Gal on LinkedIn, and you can follow it. It's brand new. Just made it today. The website will probably be ready in a week or so. We're just trying to figure out exactly what she wants on it, and that'll be fun. So if you guys want to check that out, that's Michelle Raw. Very nice lady. She's going to be doing kinds of information that affects your pocketbook. Right. So trends on finances, ways to like save money, things that are, inflation, things going up. And, that's the kind of stuff she'll be talking about, tuition and house costs and all kinds of stuff. She's really good. What she's going to be doing is she's going to be taking articles that she reads because she's in that space professionally. So the stuff that she reads for her work, she's going to basically write like reviews, like blog reviews on the articles and give some commentary on from her perspective as a mom and a wife and a business professional in that, and I think it's gonna be fascinating. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. So anyways, that's your finance gal. But back to job seeker spotlight. Let's go, Queen. I don't know how to say that, and I don't want to butcher it, so I'm just gonna say Queen. I think I'm pretty sure I got that one right. First of all, I want to say this. That is a very good profile photo because it shows your personality. It's got a little style to it, and then that's black and white, right? So as a photographer, I really like it. The only thing that I would suggest, and you've heard me say this a million times, Curtis, is I do like to make the face a little bit bigger. So I would pull it down. I would crop it, basically is what I'm saying. I would pull it down and I would expand the face so I could see more of your face. That's the only critique, but it's really well done. It's a nice photograph. The picture behind you, I'm going to presume for a moment that this is in the area where you live, but this is not going to help you find a job. So what you want to do is take that cover photo and put something over the top of it that explains, like, I can see you're a research student. What are we researching, right? Like, are you technology? Are you engineering? Are you chemicals? Or, is it Silicon? Oracle is a computer company, right? So are you doing software? What are you doing? Let us know there. And even like if you're not graduated, a good suggestion would be graduating, fall of 2022 or, spring of, well, I guess not spring of 2021 at this point, but you know what I mean? Put the year that you're graduating there, if nothing else, so that we have some information based on that. Also, you do not have a headline. You have a character limit of 120. Okay. You can use up to 120 characters there, and you've used like 15. So think about it, just like we were talking about for the other one, for Jocasta. Think about it this way. If they don't know you, Queen, what would you want to be found for? Like what? Computers, science, hardware, engineering, electrical engineering, you know what I mean? Like think along those lines. Okay, what field am I going into? And then start putting that in your headline. It is not a job title. The headline on LinkedIn, let me say this again. In fact, hang on a second. I want to get bigger. This is my serious face, Curtis. The headline on LinkedIn is not your job title. They have this thing called experience, and under experience, that's where your job title goes. The headline can be whatever you want it to be. I suggest you use it for keywords, right? So tell people about yourself. Don't use things that don't apply, right? But use it for terms, keyword terms. So there is this thing called LinkedIn SEO, And the headline is really the most important thing besides for your name. And most people are not, like I said, most people will not change their name. I can give you some pointers, by the way. Like Queen actually does this right. Let me pull this back up. You see how Queen has capitalized every letter of her name? For anybody that also shares the same name that doesn't do the same thing, she's going to be above them in most searches. Because LinkedIn, this is a little known fact on LinkedIn, but LinkedIn prioritizes capital letters over the normal syntax, capital first letter and lowercase the rest. They give precedence, extra weight to capital letters. So where you and I were probably raised that all caps mean we're screaming at you, but that's not how LinkedIn, that's not how the platform reads it. It says this is more important. So I'm going to put it in front of the rest that are non-capitalized. So Queen, very good job. That's something I don't point out a lot on this show. So that's something that is relatively new. So here's your first opportunity. Add more detail here. I'll tell you what, as I dig deeper into your profile, what you should actually say there. But for now, I don't know because I don't know. And that's the point. That's the problem. Curtis, we don't know what we're hiring her for yet, do we?
No.
All we know is she's a research student from Sydney, and she's got a pretty cool photo. But that's not enough. You know what I mean? Look at this. I love it when they talk to me. You got it. And you've got a sense of humor too, which I like that. Okay. So let's keep going. What is Queen's top skill? I don't know. I don't know, Queen. All right. Here we go. We got 322 followers. We need to get you more. So here, everybody do me a favor. If you're watching this right now, go to Queen's profile and just hit that connect button. I am already connected to her, so I can't.
I just connected with her just now.
Yeah, connect. I mean, this lady is funny and she needs her help. And then if you're so inclined, give her some love, right? Go to her posts, comment on them, share them, tag her in your posts, give her some help. Okay, here we go. This is what I really needed right here. So this is what I mean by headline is not your job title. So you've got this section called experience. So right now, your headline looks like is you're a student. You know what I mean? Research assistant, research intern. But I kind of figured, right? So eSofty solutions. So we've got some IT stuff. We've got technical background. Okay. Cybersecurity. Boom. Information technology. Boom. Now I know what to hire you for. Problem is, I didn't make it this far. I'm just being honest. I didn't get down here in 6.5 seconds. I said, see you later. Right? So did you, Curtis. You know what I mean? So do this for me, Queen. Cybersecurity IT solutions, graduating master's degree in 2023. You know what I mean? Now you're going to get something. And I probably would change out the Oracle photo only because it's being blocked by this thing. Not that I'm opposed to Oracle, but actually, here's another little fine point. The person who might be considering hiring you might be in competition with Oracle. So I don't necessarily think that you should be
Nice.
Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
So use like a circuit board or something. I did a graphic. I'm gonna find it real quick. I did a graphic the other day for one of my clients. I just want to give you a feel for something that you could use instead. So I did this graphic for, see that? That's a circuit board back there. So you could do something like this on Canva if you want. In full disclosure, I use Illustrator and Photoshop. But anyways, you could do something like this and say IT, diversity, cybersecurity, and graduating. Like I said, I think I would put graduating or master's in because that's what your focus is. But anyways, that's a circuit board. A picture says 1,000 words. And to me, this says much more about what you're doing than what you've got, right? That actually, I don't know, you might just be an Oracle fan. You might like freeways because Honestly, whoever shot this picture didn't do themselves much of a service because the bridge, the bypass, the I'm not a I'm not a road engineer. What is that called, Curtis? I don't know.
That, like you said, looks like a freeway, something like that.
The road's in the way, right? Get that off of there. Yeah. She's like, would you quit picking on the background? I'm gonna fix it. All right, let's keep going. Education is all good. There's not much to do here in the way of your education and your experience. Okay, one thing we didn't talk about with Jocasta, but I have been talking about this a lot. There is the new thing called featured section on here. And I really think that your profile needs this more than most. Okay. You have a lot of education, which means you have degrees, and you have a lot of certificates. I just saw them. Because you don't have a huge following base, right? You have 322 connections. Hopefully, we got you a few more while we're on the show. One thing that you should be doing, she wasn't. Yeah, so you're a bad photographer, Queen. Don't ever advertise photography. I'm totally kidding. Anyways, here's the deal. Take that camera of yours that you missed the shot for Oracle and shoot instead all your certificates, all your diplomas, all your awards, and load those suckers up on the featured section, which you're not even using. And just give me smack, 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 smack. The only thing I want you to put in front of those in the featured section is I want you to get on video and give me 180 seconds of you introducing yourself, who you are, what you do, what you want to do. Paint a picture of what you want to do in your career, because you haven't done much in your career. You're still in school. So it's not so much about what you've done, but you can paint the picture about what you want to do. And here's why you want to keep it like 3 to 5 minutes. I want to hear you communicate in your, whatever your native tongue is, because I'm presuming that's the tongue that you're going to work in. So do it in that tongue. And I want you to be friendly. I want you to have that smile. Give me some of that same sass that you're giving me in the comment section right now, because I'm going to eat it up. And what that's going to do for recruiters when they see it, now they're going to see some of the personality, which goes to something that most people don't think about on LinkedIn, and that's culture. We as recruiters, we as hiring managers are concerned about the talent, but also the fit of the candidate. And right now, because supply is so high, we can choose basically from a multitude of candidates. One of the things that most people discount, but you really shouldn't, and that's what this show is about, helping you raise your visibility, is about so they can understand you and like you. That video can help in a few different ways. It can help, like, let's say English isn't your first language, but you want to work in English. How well do you speak it? That's a question that I have. In some places, I can't really ask that because that might break some legal HR rules, right? But if you have a video and I can see clearly that you do speak good English, well, that satisfies that question. The other thing that I recommend for those of you that are watching, and I don't know if this applies to Queen, but those of you who want to work in another country, right? You need sponsorship. One of the things I suggest that you would address in that video is why you want to locate to that place that you want to locate, right? And you need something other than, don't answer the question, where do you want to work anywhere? No one's going to hire you right now for anywhere. You got to have a specific location and a reason that's compelling to get me as an employer to really consider bringing you on, because there's so many different people available. My local market, most likely, I don't need to import somebody to do the job. So if I'm going to do that and sponsor somebody, I really need to be sold on the fact that you desperately want to be here, specifically here, right? And you're not going to like come and say, oh, I didn't realize it was 120 degrees for 100 days straight in the Inland Empire and then go back to Canada where it's cold, right? I mean, that's the idea. So I think I've given Queen quite a bit. Anything you want to add to that, Curtis? Because I think I've sauced her quite a bit there.
Now, what you were saying, it just made a whole lot of sense, especially that last part. If someone is trying to relocate, that you need to definitely convince them of that ROI, because they're not going to, because the hiring process is already, it costs a lot of money already. And then, bringing someone over, that's just going to add more to the.
Yeah, and so you always, whenever you bring in a new person, you have a chance so that you're really chancing disturbing the apple cart, right? Like your company has a culture, it has a team, it has an attitude and all that stuff, and you bring somebody else in and then they've got to integrate. And so not only is it a new person, but if it's a new cultural person, then there's all kinds of things, like from what we eat to the way we dress to the way we communicate. Like, for example, if I was if I was going to work in Mexico, now I speak Spanish. For those of you who don't know, I do speak Spanish. So I could actually work in Mexico, believe it or not. But the thing is, I don't speak Spanish so well that if you joke with me, I will necessarily understand that it's a joke. You get it? You see what I'm saying? So that's where, culturally they want to know, like, okay, is it just, book Spanish, classroom Spanish, or is it real world Spanish? Like, do you understand all the nuances? Can you keep up with it? How sensitive are you? I mean, some places, some work environments, frankly, are raunchy and some are not. And so you may not be a good fit. But anyways, the video helps answer a lot of questions. But the other thing to my latter point, too many people with Project Help You Grow seem like they're just desperate to leave where they are and they want to go work anywhere. But you have to understand that business owners didn't open their business as a charity in most cases, right? Like Project Help You Grow, it did actually, but it's not a business that's hiring. I'm the only employee. It's a philanthropy. It runs for free, right? I actually pay money so nobody else has to. That's the idea. But most businesses, like when you open Job Ready today, you didn't say, you know what, the reason why I'm opening this job, because I know there's somebody in Japan who really wants to work in North Carolina, and I'm going to start this business and I'm going to build this business so that I can bring somebody over from Japan to work for me, right? That thought never crossed your mind. Now, that doesn't mean you won't ever hire that person from Japan, but that isn't why you started the business. Right. And I want job seekers to think like that business owner for a minute, like get in the other person's shoes. So they didn't open a business, create a business, run a business for the sole purpose to make your dreams come true. You've got to sell them on why you're going to help their business. And one of the things you can do to help sell them is convince them that you dream, like it's your dream to live and work in North Carolina if you want to work for Job Ready today. If you don't, then, there might be somebody else that Curtis could hire closer that he doesn't have to, sponsor. Mm-hmm. So right. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that the job seeker should just dismiss you, or I'm sorry, the company should just dismiss you because you're not from the local area. That's not what I'm saying at all. Get what I'm saying, please. What I'm saying is they didn't open their business just to do that, right? So you've got to work on communicating your value to their company as much as they need to communicate their value to you as a employer. Really, it should be a two-way street there. They should be selling you on the benefits of joining their team, and you should be selling them on what you bring to the table. And you do have a competition, whether you like it or not. I know some people they're not comfortable with that. They don't like it. They're like, I shouldn't have to compete with everybody else. Well, why not? They're looking for a job too. I mean, again, put yourself in the role of the person making the hiring decision. If I have 2,000 people to choose from, I'm going to be much more selective, and it is much more competitive than sometimes where the job market is the other way around. It's like we as employers can't find anybody to work for us. And then that's a whole different market, but you have to play to the market you're in. And right now, whether we like it or not, it's an employer market, not an employee market. And, if you live long enough, you'll be involved in both multiple times throughout your career. Right. I've been to places where they're offering me silly money because of my skill set was in high demand. And other times it's like, really, I can't find a job even for minimum wage doing what I do because there's just no demand for it. That is what it is. So, all right. Queen loved it. So glad to help you there. And Robert said, great job, guys. Thank you, Robert. Would you like a profile review? And let me extend this to everybody. Anybody watching, if you're interested in joining Curtis and I on camera, what we would do is give you an opportunity just to introduce yourself to those of you who are watching. People say, well, how does that help me? Let me tell you how that helps you. It's a secret. I have a pretty large network.
Huge.
Some people might know that, right? You might not know that, but even inside that network, Curtis, I have over 5,000 recruiters that I'm directly connected to. That isn't people that I know. That's just the people that I'm directly connected to in my direct network because of Project Help You Grow, for those of you who are not familiar, right? So because I run Project Help You Grow, I have this access. So when you come on, any one of those recruiters could see you. They might have a job for you. They just didn't know who you were. So this is what blows my mind. I've made this offer week after week after week, and I don't think I've had anybody actually take me up on it. I've had a couple of people try, but we had technical difficulties, ironically enough. But come on the show and let those people see you. And if you do a good job with it, you actually could use that for your intro video, because I would, if it goes well, I'll actually edit it for you and send it to you so that you can use it in your interview video. And for those of you who don't know, it's one of the 6 services that I offer professionally at Bowman Digital Media. No, Curtis knows that because
Good. He's real good.
I make his videos for him, so Curtis could speak to it. But isn't that? I mean, it just boggles my mind that nobody's taken me up on that offer. I think they're camera shy, though. I think people are like, that's a lot of pressure.
So while you're waiting for a potential person to come on, which is, I hope someone would jump on, you hit on something, and it's something that I'm seeing, because there are some folks that, come to me and they talk about LinkedIn, and thankfully I've been connected to a LinkedIn extraordinaire for quite some time. So I've incorporated some of those things into my strategy. And there are 2 things when it comes down to the resume, the cover letter, and the LinkedIn profile that people are lacking. When it comes down to communicating their value, many people, they like, when I talk to them, I can hear what they have to offer. Like, they have it going on. But when I look at the resume, the cover letter, when I look at the LinkedIn profile, it's like, this doesn't speak to you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the things you hit on today is like, make those changes.
Yeah.
And when you make those changes, you'll start to see some type of difference, because some of those people, here's what it is. We talked about with the resume, how, you have a lot of people in that 75%. Some of them in that 75% don't belong there because they are the ideal candidate, but they just don't know how to articulate themselves. So my advice, this information right here on the show, take it, use it.
Let's talk about this in more detail. Okay, so again, I've got jobreadytoday.com. Scrolling down at the bottom, we are talking to Curtis Tompkins. He is the owner of Job Ready Today. They do career services, professional resume writing, cover letter, career strategy, like if interview prep. So, I mean, all kinds of help. If you're a job seeker and you're just completely lost in the weeds, I suggest you at least reach out to Curtis and have a conversation and see where it goes. But here's something. People will go to a resume writer like you, and another one that I'm really close with, Lisa Jones. She runs, she's the president of the Global Goodwill Ambassadors for the United States, right? Richard DiPadia is the CEO, but Lisa is the president. I work with them all the time. So Lisa is a resume writer as well. So I hear this, like, people will say, well, I hired Curtis or I hired Lisa or whoever to write my resume, and they're a professional. So I'm just going to use that for every single job submission. And I'm like, no, I know you didn't hear Curtis say that. And I know you didn't hear Lisa say that. And you sure as hell didn't hear me say that. Let me explain to everybody. Well, actually, you know what? Let me do this. Let me give you an opportunity to shine, brother. Tell us why is that the dumbest idea ever?
Well, as Ira hit on earlier, I believe he hit on this, if you rewind probably around 15, 20 minutes, he talked about tailoring when it comes down to the different job descriptions. When it comes down to the job description and then come down to applicant tracking systems, the hiring manager or recruiter, whoever's managing the process, may pre-program that particular applicant tracking system with key terms or whatever criteria they have to match with the position that you're applying for. So if you just use that one resume, you are not going, without making any changes, you're not going to match the criteria. Even if you believe, okay, I'm going to apply for a customer service position at Xerox, I'm going to apply for a customer service a position at Bowman Digital Media, and you say, well, they're both customer service, it might be the general same thing, so I'm just going to apply. No, Ira's going to be looking for different things than Xerox. They have their key terms and Xerox has their key terms. So you're going to have to customize the resume to meet what Ira wants, what Obama Digital Media wants, with what Xerox wants. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, I think what would help people if they understand this is the problem is volume. Okay. You have an ATS system that is being bombarded by applicants. So I put a job listing up and maybe 24 hours or 48 hours at the most, I have to pull it down because I have just been overwhelmed. I've got 1,000, 2,000 applicants who have applied. Now, in certain markets, at certain times, good enough would be okay because the strategy might be, well, I just need to get the interview and then I'll win in the interview round. But the problem is with volume, doing it that way, trying to use one resume fits all. Your keyword match might be okay, but it's not going to be the top. And you need to be in the top, however many people they're going to interview. 50 people, 100 people. Look, if they get 2,000 applications and they're only taking the top 50 because they're only going to interview 50, and you didn't keyword match for that specific job listing, and not just your resume, by the way, also your cover letter.
That's right.
Okay. And if you're not using a cover letter, that right there is why you're not getting interviews all by itself. I don't even care if you could be keywording your resume all day long and not using a cover letter, and you're out because somebody else they're out pointing you. They're getting more points because in the cover letter, they're also keyword matching and they're getting more points. You understand? It's a points-based system. So you have to competitively, you have to make the top, however many. They may only interview 20 people. That would be 1/10 of 1%. If they had 2,000 applicants and they were only doing 20, right? That's 1/10 of 1%, I think, if I did my math right. Maybe that's 1%, actually. No, it's 1%. Sorry. So they're only going to take the top 1%. Okay. But the fact is, if you were just going with good enough, thinking, well, I'm going to get a C on this homework assignment, and then I'll wow them with the presentation, you're not going to get to make the presentation. And you think you got ghosted. You didn't get ghosted. You got out hustled. Never be the laziest person in the room. Do the work. If you don't know how to do the work, go to projecthelpyougrow.com and I'll teach you how in a blog. You can actually read an article. I think my man has written 2 on this topic on Project Help You Grow, and you can buy his book, like I said, for $4. He literally wrote the book on this topic, guys. What is the ATS? How to set up your resume so you can get through that ATS screening process, which everybody thinks is the devil, which is not really. Once you understand it, it's actually pretty straightforward. And we know that 3/4 of those resumes are getting restricted by the ATS. So you give yourself a great shot of getting an interview once you start applying this. But it basically boils down to this. Most people are not considering the volume. They don't think about the competition for these jobs. But because supply is in such a low quantity, there's not as many jobs. And because there's more people, more candidates applying for each job, you have to be like on it. You have to be completely on it. So every one of these little tweaks that we say, you might go, well, that takes time. Yeah, it does. And you might only apply for 2 jobs a day. But I guarantee you, if you take my advice and apply for 2 jobs a day, 5 days a week, that's 10 jobs, you have a million times more likely to earn the interview than if you applied to 500 a day for 5 days straight. You'll have a lot less quantity, but you're going to have so much better quality. It's like shooting an arrow straight at the bullseye versus like throwing something behind your back and hoping you hit it. You know what I mean?
You know something? There's something that you and we spoke about, because when we're on the show and when we are writing on LinkedIn and things of that nature, we talk about the ATS on a surface level because that's what everyone understands.
Right.
But we know much more, and there's much more to learn about applicant tracking systems.
Oh, 100%.
This is something that you talked about this a long time ago, and I talk about this with the one-on-one clients when it comes down to when we go to corporate settings and things of that nature. Being able to craft your game plan, and you hit on this just a bit earlier, crafting your game plan, you can't look at your game plan one-sided. Because many times, and I'll just compare it to a basketball game.
Yeah.
You just go to the basketball court and say, okay, you know what? I'm just going to go and play this player. No, you need to stand there and watch how they play. See, okay, he got a good three-pointer. We need to check that out. Oh yeah, when he's making his move and he's crossing, he's making people fall and stuff like that.
The tendencies. Yeah.
Exactly. You have to pay attention and see. And when you pay attention, then you know how to approach. So somebody may ask, well, Curtis, what are you saying? When it comes down, you know that you're going to approach a recruiter. You know how you're going to approach a hiring manager. Do some research. Find out, how is it that this is done? How is it that that's done? Learn about applicant tracking systems. Now,
you're about to lead me to my next, I don't understand why more people don't do this. Okay. So let's go back to Queen. She's a fan of Oracle. Let's say, I'm going to give some real world examples here, Queen. I hope you don't mind. She's been a great sport, so I don't think she will. Let's say her dream was to work for Oracle because she told us she's a fan of it, right? So, okay, how would you get a job at Oracle? You already identified this a little bit, and with what you were just saying, Curtis. Who are the hiring managers? Who are the recruiters? Let's figure that out specifically for that company. The other thing is, and this is the thing nobody does. I was in sales too long because this is just obvious to me.
Strategy.
Who did they already hire? Really, let me look and see who's already on the team. There are clues there. If you go through the team and they all fit a profile, boom. You just got a major insight to what they're looking for. Now, some teams are set up where everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like to be part of those teams more. But you know what I mean? You're going to learn what they want. And then the thing that, again, I just don't understand why nobody does it because it's free. There's a little effort. Informational interviews. I know you know I've talked about that before.
Indeed.
Talk to people who have already done that job. Queen, you're still in school. You want to, and she's giving me permission to do that. Thank you so much. Okay. So why wouldn't you, if you want to work for Oracle, do what I just said, figure out who the hiring managers are, figure out who the recruiters are. And that's just as simple as straight, searching on LinkedIn. It's easy to figure that out. And then 2, who's already working there doing the jobs that you want to do, or even better, they've already done the jobs you want to do and been promoted up. Those are the successful ones. Reach out to them and say, hey, I'm about to graduate with my master's degree in 2024. I'm just making that up. I don't know, Queen, whenever you're going to get that. But you know what I mean? So you're going to have that paper and you talk and say, hey, look, can I pick your brain? Can I do an informational interview with you? What's the benefit of that? They know the culture. They know the people. If you can become friends with them, they can also be referral source for you. A lot of companies like Oracle have a hiring incentive. In other words, they tell their internal employees, we want you to help us identify future employees and we'll give you some type of, reward for it. So there's all kinds of reasons and ways that can help you. And again, did I mention it's free? It doesn't cost you anything. And some of them could end up becoming your mentor, which is even better. Right? It's called informational interview, and it seems like nobody does it. Do you? I don't know. If I want to work for HP, that's the first thing I'm doing is I'm going to look, who do I know that works at HP? Who has the job at HP that I want? Who are the hiring managers or the recruiters that are hiring for that position? And I'm going to do a whole bunch of research. Nerdy. Oh, I thought you froze for a second.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry about that. But you're 100% right. And there are some. I believe there's one that I can think of right now. Young lady, she reached out to me. She's actually from where she's from. I think she's from Nigeria.
Okay.
she reached out to me similarly for this purpose because she's trying to break into industry that I had knowledge of, and she really wanted some assistance. And she, like you said, she took the initiative, got on the phone with me,
Gotta
and
like
we were
that.
talking. So,
Gotta
yep.
like that.
hmm
Smart. So what was the outcome?
It was pretty good. She's looking to go into a different way now. This is a little while ago. She's going a different way now, but she actually has experience in that space. The space is HR.
Yeah.
She actually has experience in the space, and she just was trying to get some different training, different insight, or what have you. So it worked out pretty well. But as you said, you got to take advantage of that because if that's the direction that you're trying to go, you need to get with someone who knows. Like I'm thinking right now. I mean, I know you as an executive at your company, your time is limited,
Oh,
and I'm
sure.
talking about you per se.
Yeah.
But when it come down to sales experience, I mean, every time we get on, I mean, your experience, you have 20 plus years of sales experience. So if someone's trying to break in that arena, I mean, you probably can give them something in a 5 minute time period that can, you know, knock things out.
And it's funny is once you get me on the phone, it's hard to get me off because I want to help you. I really do. I like to help people. That's my heart. I
Start
mean,
pouring in. Yeah.
yeah. So one of my frustrations with Nigeria, I'm just gonna lay it out there. Was your friend was the person who reached out to you, was she trying to stay there or was she trying to go somewhere
Oh,
else?
no, she wanted to stay.
Stay there?
Yeah.
Here's the thing that I don't like about Nigeria, and this is why I tell job seekers, because I deal with job seekers from all over the world, and I know a lot about most of the markets now because I've been doing this for so long. The thing about West Africa, it's not just Nigeria, it's basically West Africa, so Ghana and all the areas right there. Very much so, it's nepotism. It's really hard, like job seekers, to find a job listing and get a real crack at it. You've got to know somebody. So what I tell people there is you got to do a lot of networking, like build relationship building, even more so maybe in most places. I think it's a good idea to do it everywhere, but I kind of do hate that about that place. It's like, and the other thing is, which is frustrating, Project Help You Grow, I would say anywhere from like 3% to 6% of my daily traffic on Project Help You Grow comes from Lagos or Nigeria, right there. Okay. That's job seekers. I know just like 2 or 3 recruiters in that area, maybe four, but very few. And I don't know any employers right there. And I can't get any of them to give me their jobs. If you're watching this show and you have job listings from that area, I will put them on the top of my page for you for free. For free. I don't charge, like, there's no charge for that. So let's work together. I help you out because I got a lot of people that I want to help. They're good people. They want to work. So, anyways, that's my frustration. Sorry, I had to share. All right, now it's your turn. What is driving you nuts right now in the world of job search?
Well, I won't say that anything in per se is driving me nuts. One thing I'm happy about is lately, I know you've been seeing it, man, the amount of jobs that have been coming out, I'm looking around like, okay, people are trying to open things back up. So
And
they're advertising.
remote work too. I've
Yeah,
noticed
yes.
this like remote work. That used to wear me out. Oh, that used to wear me out so much. When I launched Project Help You Grow 2018, the website, there was probably like 1 in every 5,000 jobs remote. Now I'm going to say it's more like 30 to 40%, which is a huge increase.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
And I guess it's due to the change after the pandemic. Well, the pandemic is not over, but after the height of the pandemic, when people, were home, it's a personal preference. And I'm going to be honest, when it comes down to that, it was a difference.
Yeah,
it was definitely, even though that some of the business that Job Ready Today got, me personally as the owner, I didn't really have to go out sometime. There's other times when I'm dealing in the corporate setting, of course you got to go. But I can do things I can do things from home, or if I want to go to the office, I can do that too, which I've done. But when it comes down to that, You have remote work, like you said, you have in-person jobs. I mean, it's a lot coming up now. And you have a lot of active job seekers versus before where you had some passive job seekers who had a position, but
Yeah.
and they weren't really looking. But now you
They were
have
trying to upgrade. Yeah.
yeah. So you got a good majority of people who are looking at you have opportunities. So that I do like. Now, when it comes down to what I told you earlier, I think this is not just now, but this has been something I've been seeing for quite some time. I want, and this is my personal mission when it comes down to job ready today. I want to make that change because that 75% bugs me.
It bugs the hell out of me too.
It's too much.
It's way too much. And it's unnecessary,
Hmm.
frankly.
That's right.
It's not like the system isn't passable.
Hmm.
The system just requires a change of behavior. That's all. Just a simple change of behavior. I mean, I was hearing this a lot back in 2019 and at the beginning of 2020, not so much after the pandemic, because I think that the pandemic humbled a lot of people. Like they're
Hmm.
like, okay, I'll do whatever it takes to feed my family now, right?
Hmm.
But before there was a little bit of I hate to say arrogance or entitlement, maybe is another way to say
Hmm.
it, attitude. But it was like I shouldn't have to, as a job seeker, I shouldn't have to bend. If the system's broken, they should fix it. Well,
Hmm.
you could ride your high horse if you want, and you're not necessarily wrong. They should fix it. But the fact is, there's no financial incentive for them to fix it. So they're not going to, right? They're not going to spend millions of dollars to buy a new program just because you didn't get through the ATS with your poorly crafted strategy. And that's hard for people to hear, but it's the truth. You're not getting through the ATS for one of two reasons, and only one of two reasons. You're either not qualified or you didn't write it correctly. And if you're not qualified, look, they're not you're not trying to jump the ladder right now. If you are, that's part of your problem. You actually have to be qualified for these positions. If you want a promotion, you need to stay put and get that promotion internally right now. That isn't always the case. Historically, lots of times people would switch jobs and get promoted at the same time, right? But right now, that's not the environment that we're in. You want to be promoted, get promoted internally, or create your own business like I did. One or the other. So there's that. We can talk about the value of fractional work, which I think is a very viable opportunity. In fact, I was just talking about that to one of my friends who is more experienced than some other people and fighting this thing we call ageism. And I said, hey, why don't you just get 5 or 6 companies to hire you fractionally? And she goes, fractionally? What does that mean? I said, well, let me tell you about fractional work.
Hmm.
Other deal. But to stay on topic, if you're trying to get through that ATS, if you're not writing your ATS if you're not writing the resume correctly, if you're not doing the cover letter correctly, of course you're not going to get through. That's a large part of the 75%. The other part of it, which nobody seems to talk about, is just the fact that they're not actually qualified for the job. You know, it's not that they couldn't do the job. Here again, what I'm saying, on paper, you're not qualified. Like for example, they're looking for somebody with a bachelor's degree and you don't have one. You're not qualified. You may not like to hear that, but they're going to get hundreds, if not thousands, of people who have it. So again, they can be more picky, more choosy. And let's put the rubber where the rubber meets the road here for just a second. Let's say in that job description they had 36 keywords that they highlighted. These are their keywords, and they're giving points for, and you had 25 of them. What are the odds that you're going to get interviewed? Probably not great unless it's a really steep position up the job curve. Like the lower it is, the closer it is to entry level, the more likely you're not going to get that job. Why? Because everybody else who is applying for the job probably has more than 26 of those keywords. You know what I mean? They probably have like 34, 33 of them, frankly. So that's why you're not getting that interview. Now, the reason why I say if it's closer to like a C level or a VP level, you might still get it is because maybe everybody else doesn't have it too. Like, let's say one of the keywords is like doctorate in electrical engineering or something like that. You know what I mean? That's not a common skill. There's not as many people in the population that would be qualified. So the higher up the job is, you could actually probably create some type of a mathematical equation for this, but I'm not that smart. But anyways, you know what I mean? So the steeper it is, the closer it is to being the owner of a company, then you probably don't need quite as many of the keywords. But frankly, for those jobs, I recommend people have a headhunter working for them on their behalf anyways. So a lot of that's about who you know anyway. But my point is on keywords, the reason why you're not getting through the ATS is because you don't have enough of the keywords because you're not writing the cover letter, or you're not rewriting the cover letter in the resume for that specific job, and or you're just not qualified. You want to be qualified. It's something you think you could do, and you probably could do it if given the opportunity. But the fact is, if they've got 300 people who have applied, who have done the job and got referrals for the job, recommendations for the job, they've got all the criteria, those are the ones that they're most likely going to interview. It's not that they can't. There's no legal requirement to interview everybody. There's no legal requirement to even interview the people that on paper are the most qualified. They get to pick and choose who they bring in for interviews. There is no regulations on that. As long as they're not they're not discriminating, then legally they can interview whoever they want, right? As far as I know.
I'm sorry.
That ATS was built. This is the other thing people forget. The ATS was built in part to help eliminate discrimination, but it actually has created a bigger problem than it fixed, I think. But I digress. The good news is most of this stuff is fixed with the new SaaS models. So when they have the latest ATS programs on a software as a service, a lot of this stuff has been fixed. The problem is most people are not using it. They're using a legacy program. So when will they upgrade? Who knows? But as the economy recovers, then hopefully that'll improve too.
So now, one thing that I've been seeing, to your point, when you said that people believe that the system should be fixed, there are companies talking about that are on the side that produce applicant tracking systems. What I've been seeing, there are efforts to improve and tweak applicant tracking systems.
Oh, actually, there's no doubt that's happening in droves. The problem is not that the companies who've created them, it's the companies that are using them right now. They're using, like I said, I just finished this up. They're using legacy software, meaning it's not the latest and greatest. So things like problems with PDFs, that was a huge problem for a long time. If you have a modern ATS, one that's been released in the last 6 months, PDF's no longer a problem. Problem is you don't know what version of the ATS, of the 10,000 plus different ATS programs that are out there. You have no idea which one they're using. And even if you do know they're using, let's say, the number one made by Oracle, let's just bring Queen back into the conversation one more time, right? The number one, it's called Taleo. It was made by Oracle, okay? It's the number one in Europe and the United States. And they both happen to use about 19% of the businesses happen to use it in both areas. So that's kind of cool. So even that, think about what I just said. That's the number one used software in the United States and in Europe. ATS software being used, but it's only 19%. That means 2 out of 10 will be using it, and 8 out of 10 will be using something else. So, and then you don't know what version they're using. What version are they using? Because the hangups are different in the different versions. So you have in your book a compilation of rules that I'm familiar with too, because I did that study on the ATS back in 2019. If people will just follow those rules, it really doesn't matter what version of ATS they're using. That's the nice part, right? Yeah. So it's not that every ATS is the same. They're certainly not. But that is a safe, like if people want a recommendation on how to craft their own resume, they should go to Job Ready Today. On jobreadytoday.com. Your book is there. They can buy the book. Like I said, the electronic version, $4, the hard copy version, $6. And then you don't have to sweat it anymore. I have your book here somewhere. If I can find it real quick, I'll actually hold it up. Oh, is that it? Yeah, there it is. Again, if I was really cool, I would have had this already, but there it is. Resume Writing Simplified, Curtis Tompkins. So pick this book up. Look, it's pretty thin, so it's not like a heavy read or anything. This is a guidebook, guys. You can pick this up on his website. You can get it on Amazon, but basically what it is, there's a whole chapter in this book on the rules of the ATS. Right? I'm not crazy.
Yes. Yep, you're right.
Yeah, it's chapter 3. It's chapter number 3. ATS 101 is what it's called. And that chapter is only 4 pages. So it's not even huge. And then you show people the targeted resume format, how to set it up, and then you show them how to what you call the tailoring process.
Yes.
So anyways, it's all right here. Like, you don't have to struggle with this. This is why Curtis is on the show. Besides the fact he's one of my besties, but it's just in full disclosure. He's one of my best buddies on all of LinkedIn. Anyways, Curtis, final thoughts, brother. Wrap us up.
Well, final thought, take advantage of the market. All of the new positions that are coming out, like one Kelly, Pananos, that's the CEO of Pananos. There a lot of jobs they've been putting out there. They're different. I know Project Help You Grow has a lot of jobs that you're putting out. You have different companies that I've even been posting these last couple of days that they're hiring. They're trying to hire. Take advantage of this because
you just did that this morning.
Yes, sir. I did. And there's another one I'm going to be putting out, I think tomorrow, that one of the managers reached out directly to me. He and I used to work together. Actually, he used to be one of my managers at the time. He has different positions that are available that I'm going to be talking about. Take advantage of this because this is not going to be like this forever. The way this is right now, when it comes down to the number of jobs that are coming out and things of that nature, it's going to be probably hot for a little while.
Who's this?
She looks familiar.
Do I know this lady? This is exactly right now. I mean, it's just easy screening out to add BS. It is what it is. It just is what it is. Curtis' smile is really one of the best things ever. I don't know what the laugh was about, but I missed it. Job ready today. That's what it. Look, she knows how to spell it.
Yes.
I was watching a movie. What is this about? Who is that? Let's see. I don't know. My LinkedIn broadcast is behind, so I don't even know who that is. But there she is. Anyways, Kelly Robinson runs Pananos, and she's awesome. You guys should check it out. But in full disclosure, we're all buddies, so we hang out. We swim in circles. So there it is. That's our circle. All right, Curtis, I got your jobreadytoday.com up for folks. If they don't have the book, Resume Writing Simplified, I surely recommend that they grab it. It will be the best $6 you've ever spent as a job seeker. And that's only if you want the hard copy, which I personally like, the hard copy. And it has soft touch. Now, if you could just imagine like touching Curtis's vest right there, this is what I imagine it feels like.
Something like that.
Yeah. So that's a good book. They should follow you on LinkedIn, Curtis Tompkins, but also you have Job Ready Today LinkedIn business page.
Yes.
Here on LinkedIn. You got one of those on Facebook too? I know you and I are
connected.
Yeah. So you can go to the website, you can go to the LinkedIn page, you can go to the Facebook page, just follow everywhere because you're going to get tips on what to do, but also like Curtis talked about today, he posted about job listings, active job listings. Plus, Curtis knows a lot of people in the industry. So, like Kelly, who's on the screen right now, Kelly Robbins, our friend, she's got pananos.com, which is PANNAKNOWS.com. Go there. She's got job listings, but she's got a whole team. Her business is exploding because they're really good at what they do. So
I would, if you don't mind, I will also say when it comes to Kelly, what I told them, finding out what to do on the other side as well. She has some videos on YouTube regarding the talent acquisition process. Job seekers should take a look. They're not too long. Take a look at those videos, get an idea of what's going on. That's just a little tidbit.
Yeah, Pananos. Look, I love Pananos. A lot of people don't know. Pananos was a Project Help You Grow sponsor for a year. So, I have an affinity for Project or Pananos, but her website is got a lot of good stuff on it all the time. It's good content. They've got a good team. They've got a page on LinkedIn too. So, find them. And then also she runs MyVab, which is kind of cool. So you can check out MyVab. I'm proud to be a part of that too. So
Yes.
like I said, Kelly Robinson's good people, and she's got a lot of good things going on. So I got Project Help You Grow running right now at the bottom of the screen. Queen, to answer to your question is yes, you can get an e-copy. It's not even fully $4. Now that's American. So you'll have to convert that. But you can go jobreadytoday.com. The book is on there, and then you can buy either I think you call it the Kindle version.
Mm-hmm.
That's the e-copy version, the electronic version. If you buy it, so you don't have to pay for shipping, which I think you're in Australia, so that's a good thing for you. Just get the e-copy version, and it's called Kindle. $4, like $3. Do you remember off the top of your head? It's
$3.99.
There you go. Yeah, I was gonna say it's $3 something. Anyways, I just say $4 because I have dyslexia and it's easy for me to mess those numbers up. I want people to get mad at me because I messed up one of the pennies. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Oh, here we go. Open Spotify episode. And that is the podcast that I've been seeing all over the place. I actually haven't listened to it yet. I'm a bad friend, guys.
You good.
I've been slammed. My intern and my wife have been driving me nuts. They're onboarding, so. Hey, Kelly, what is the title of that podcast? Do you remember what the title of that podcast is, Curtis?
No, not at the present second.
Yeah.
The title of her podcast is the All Things Hiring Podcast, but I'm trying to remember if she named it.
That's what it is. All Things Hiring. Yep. I think that's what she means.
Okay.
But you could click on that. You can click on this link that Kelly put in the comments. It'll take you straight to the interview with Curtis. But I've been on All Things Hiring podcast before. So I've been on a couple of Kelly's podcasts. She's been on mine too, I believe. Great. Thanks. You're welcome. Apple, Google, Spotify. I just upgraded to Spotify Premium today. It's kind of funny. My business. So for those of you who don't know, Project Help You Grow is my philanthropy. I don't make any money on it. In fact, it costs me money to run it. But Bowman Digital Media, we just broke 6 figures. Our first 11 months we did. So I was trying to do it by a year, and I did it, and we still have some time to go. In fact, I was excited because I was going through my invoices yesterday, and I realized we had actually exceeded or eclipsed our highest month ever. So this is our best month ever. So I thought, I want to reward myself with something. And I listened to Spotify. I've been a Spotify user for years. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to get rid of the commercials. $9.99 a month. I can swing it. So anyways, I can listen to my country music without the commercials. My daughter, I think I was putting her to sleep the other day. You get a kick out of this, Curtis, because I'm old. I was listening to my 90s country because today's stuff it's not really country. Anyways, we could debate the merits of that later. But anyways, I'm playing it, and it was just like slow song after slow song. And she's like, "Dad, you're putting me to sleep. Like I need something a little faster, more pep." Anyways, that's what I listen to, old boring country music. So it's what I grew up on. It is what it is. I'm not mad at it. All right. And thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. It was really it was scary. The minute that I got furloughed, it was scary because I didn't know what I was going to do. And then when I got laid off, I had gone from like being scared to being excited. I probably am the only person who ever, I think I thanked them when they laid me off, and he was taken back by it. And I think I said something like, "No, I completely understand, and I'm grateful for this opportunity you guys are giving me." And he was like, "What do you mean?" And said, "Oh, I guess you don't follow me on social media. I launched my own thing, and I was able to pay my bills this month in the month of June 2020. And so I was excited about where it could go, because one of the things about starting your own business, as you guys probably understand, is, like you don't get paid right away. You don't get a paycheck you get to take out of the profit. So I wasn't sure what was going to happen there. So anyways, I told him, and it wasn't my boss, it was my boss's boss. My actual boss never called me after I was furloughed. He called me to furlough me, but I was laid off by my boss's boss. So for whatever that's worth. But anyways, so I thanked him, and I just think it's the polite thing to do anyways. I mean, they gave me an opportunity. I wasn't mad at them. I mean, I understand the economy was bad. Who knew what was going to happen back then? None of us had a crystal ball. So anyways, I set that goal at that time to break 6 figures. I didn't know how realistic it was, but that's what I was aiming at, and I did it. So it was a big deal. Anyways, I was excited. And for those of you who don't know, I have a large family. So, I didn't really have a choice, Curtis. I had to pay the bills. I had to feed the kids, and, obviously I'm not starving. Because if you see me, I'm overweight. That's the joke there. Anyways, I wish I was tall and skinny like my man Curtis, but I'm more like a pear than I am I don't know, banana. You're straight up and down. But anyways, a cucumber. I guess I could call you a cucumber. If I was a fruit, I would be mostly like a pear. So there you go. There's the visual, the short stubby guy. Anyways, all right. So for those job seekers out there, I want you to keep in mind what we've talked about today. We've talked about a lot, right? Get your LinkedIn profile up to snuff here. You want a cover photo. We want to know what you do in the cover photo. So give us a clue to that. Like, make it obvious what you do. Get your headline straightened out so that you're using words that people would search for to find what it is that you do. That's the key. It's not a job title. It's keywords so you can help get discovered. Your job title goes down in the experience section. Don't get that twisted, okay? Take advantage of the feature section. I want an intro video, preferably. That's what I really want, even though most people are scared to do that, but that's what I want. And then also your awards, your certificates, your achievements in photograph form right there, because that's going to separate you from, that's going to be the wheat from the chaff there, okay? And then down in the endorsement section, make sure that you're using the appropriate endorsements. What are the appropriate endorsements? Go to that zippia.com that Curtis shared and figure out what those keywords are for your industry if you don't know, or if you do know, then just populate them there. We don't need Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Office is what I'm saying, right? We need the words that actually people would search for, again, to find somebody like you. And then get your friends to hit that endorsement button and get people that you've worked with or for, write them letters, what we call recommendations on LinkedIn, what we call referrals in real life. But write some of those so that other people will write them for you. But write them only for people that you've worked with or for. Don't write them for strangers. Why? Because if they write what's called a fluff piece, a recruiter's going to look at them and go, oh, these are worthless. So you need, like, somebody actually has to say something about your actual skill set. It can't be, just a puff piece there. Okay. If you do all that stuff, that'll help you. Don't forget to customize your resume each and every time. What are they customizing for, Curtis?
ATS.
ATS. You got to use the keywords that are found in the job description. Make sure you're using your cover letter, and that will help you land a job quickly. If you ever want to come on the show, we're on every Thursday. We start at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can time adjust for wherever you are. If you miss an episode, you can always find these on my YouTube channel, which is just Ira Bowman channel on YouTube. And I haven't been putting these on Project Help You Grow. You think I should? Maybe I'll start.
Maybe. Might even help somebody.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't cost me anything extra, just a little bit more time. But anyways, that's where you can find us. Thank you, Curtis, the owner of Job Ready Today. One more time, if you guys are not familiar with his website, go check it out. And if you haven't bought the book, you need to buy this book. I'm telling you, for a job seeker, it's $4 to get the e-version, and it's $6 to get the hardcover version here. Again, look at it. It's not thick. We're not talking about, 7,000 pages. You don't need a doctorate in literature to understand it and to duplicate it. You make it, pretty simple for folks. But this is a blueprint on how you can get that resume and go from getting shunned or rejected by the ATS to through the ATS. This is like a key. This is like your road map, your treasure map to get through that ATS and get that interview. You got to earn the interview. Before you can land the job, you have to earn the interview. The ATS is not forgiving, but this book will help you navigate it. Okay. Curtis, I said it before, but if you got any final words, I'll let you have them, and then we're going to bounce out to the music.
I'm just wishing everybody the best. And if you need me, you know where to find me.
Yep. Job ready today. It's scrolling down below. Curtis Tompkins, you are the man. You're looking good as always. Thank you, my brother, for coming on the show. I'll see you around this social media. Let's see, we got one more comment from our friend. Bye, all. Kelly Robinson.
Kelly.
Peace out. I'll be in Philly. Well, I'll be driving by Philly here in a few weeks. June 10th through the 20th, I'll be out on the East Coast, so I'm looking forward to that trip. Not North Carolina, though. Got to go north, brother. See y'all later. Thanks for watching the show, everybody. Have a good evening. BowmanDigitalMedia.com